Just Us Pod.
Yep.
Episode 4.
A round of applause for us real quick.
Episode 4. How was everybody's week?
Man, I had a rough one. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Rough week?
But yeah, man, between emergency rooms, doctor's visits, all that shit, my daughter breaking her ankle, like, it's been a rough week, man. It's been a rough week.
Ken, how are you?
I was good until Friday. I ate a bad burrito from a gas station. I thought I was going to have a stroke, but...
A burrito from a gas station?
Bro,
you should have had a stroke.
Bro, I felt like shit.
God should have said stroke.
I thought I was going to die at work. I ain't know how to tell nobody. But never again. And the dude that gave me that burrito, you a low-down bastard, bro.
Mel, how was your week?
It's slightly difficult. I think somebody got my voodoo doll, and they keep playing with the coochie.
Fabian, to the right of me.
I'm Ken.
To the right of him.
Mel.
To the right of her.
35 damn.
35 tomorrow, my guy. Happy birthday, bro.
Appreciate it, man.
Birthday.
Thank you.
Damn, you
Appreciate it.
You're getting old.
Yeah, I'm up there, man.
old.
I ain't telling you
I'm
happy
up
birthday
there.
tomorrow.
That's fine.
Damn, you getting
Okay,
old.
Yeah.
How's it feel?
The same.
Your body breaking down this week?
Body breaking down for sure. It's been a rough year, but,
You here?
I'm here.
You look good, though, bro.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
35 years old, you look good, brother.
Man. Appreciate that.
You know what I'm saying? Even though you're not black, the melanin holding up right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
He got a
saying?
little nigga in
He got a little
there. You know
nigga.
that.
What do you mean by that?
Please understand, right? When we come home from work and we go in that restroom for an hour, it ain't all that we just shitting, right?
He
Like,
talking to
don't
his
get me
bitches.
wrong. Don't get me wrong. Like, I go home and I shit, but I definitely sit on that toilet just to have my fucking me time sometimes, bro.
Decompress.
I will sit on that motherfucker till my legs fall asleep and just be like, all right, now it's time to get up. But, man, that's the only time you just have to, like, literally release what you got in you. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't always that we just so shitty. Sometimes we are. But that shit just be our alone time because we know y'all ain't going to come in there fucking with us so much because we'll have that bitch thinking too.
I come sit in that bitch with you. Hey,
Exactly.
Get out.
What's
I've
going
had them.
on?
They coming in that motherfucker. What you doing? You on the work? Why you always take your phone in the bathroom? Bitch, because I'm talking to other bitches.
Exactly. That's what I said. The longer he in there, he talking to other bitches. I'm going to start thinking, oh, okay, he playing with himself. Don't even worry about it.
Hey,
Nah, I ain't
Oh,
playing
no,
with
no,
shit
no,
on
no,
the
no.
toilet, bro.
I've gotten to the point where
Beating your shit on the toilet is crazy.
No, that's crazy. No, that's crazy. That's nasty work. That's nasty work.
Disgusting.
But
It's just not even ergonomically correct,
yeah,
bro.
like, it's not.
Half your shit in anyway because of the way you sit down. Like, nah.
Disgusting.
And I'm gonna beat my shit in front of you now.
Oh, see, you know what? There should be a petition that everyone signs.
They should.
That men and I feel
I
like
do.
that.
Yeah.
That just
I do.
opens the door for other things.
Yeah, you just
All the
look
time.
up and I'm over there. Oh, but damn, babe, yeah, don't worry about it.
Either you
You want to
can join
about it.
you want to join or what? Like,
you can be the damn. What's the shit they use for painting? You can be like the easel.
Oh, yeah,
Whatever
you
it's
can be the
called.
easel?
You can be the easel for this artwork or whatever you want to be.
He is
or you
stupid.
can hop.
Oh, so
on
you
one
do it
or
in
two.
front of them too?
Sometimes, not all the time.
Nah,
Sometimes.
not all the time. I try to do. Yeah, nah.
A lot of men are insecure when it comes to if they don't feel like they're masculine enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't feel like the masculinity is coming out enough, then you're going to be a little insecure. I say this not talking about myself. Like, I'm probably the most least insecure person that y'all know when it comes to shit like that. Like, I don't give a damn, right? I'm not going to be the one going through your phone. I'm not going to be the one jealous about what you're doing. Like, none of that. So, I mean, I just feel like some guys, though, are, like, it hurts their ego a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
What about like women that's excuse me, that have had a whole
Here
phase?
you go.
Don't start.
I mean, everybody has this.
Because
Yeah.
everybody,
Let's start.
it's like everybody has to ask, well, what's your body count? Like that shit don't.
Yeah, that shit doesn't move me.
I feel like
mean
if you
nothing.
keeping count of your body count, bro.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I know the exact number, but y'all know I got an Excel sheet. So
I
like,
do too.
yeah,
that
I
must
got
be a
an-
Pisces thing.
No,
Yeah.
that's a woman thing. I'm not.
Whoa.
Before I say this, I'm sorry. I
Boom.
apologize. I'm not saying that.
Another jab.
And personally, I wouldn't
On
take
my
that.
ass 2 weeks in a row.
Bro,
I
Pause.
wouldn't take that.
My thought was already there, and then you
You
were
right,
coming
you
in
right.
right behind
But-
her. So that doesn't count.
Yeah, no,
don't
no,
hold that
it's cool
against
though. I don't hold it against you because I'll say this. Like, I haven't had a whole lot of partners because I don't cheat and
The beer.
oh I don't cheat, and I've been like in relationships. I've had like 3 relationships since in my adult time. So
That's
how
awesome.
How are you friends with just the scummiest of the scum? That's horrible.
Because we aren't scummy. Of
honestly,
the scum.
my niggas is cool, but at the same
Exactly.
time, I can't tell these niggas where to stick they dicks.
Exactly.
I mean, it just happens.
Yeah, my body count ain't crazy.
And like I was saying, insecurities are everyone has them. Right? Like everyone's insecure about something.
Oh yeah, I was.
It
Gonna
depends
say
on
that.
what?
It depends on what it is. Like some people, like you said, it depends. Sexually, I don't really have too many insecurities. I feel like if you get to the point where we actually doing something sexual, fuck it. You like what you're saying.
Hey,
It is what
you
it is.
done already made it this far.
Right.
Fuck
Right.
it. Whether it's small, medium, or large, motherfucker,
Yeah.
you gonna act like you like it because you already like me. Like
Exactly.
You know
But
what I'm
like,
saying?
what do you,
Negative.
What do you think is so? What do you think is so intimidating?
I tried to slide that in.
for a dude like talking to a girl through her whole phase, basically. Like because we have them too. Like that's the fucked up part about it is
We do.
The first thing I'll
it ain't
say,
all. Whole phase is not specific to women.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
No. And the first thing I'll say is, men whole phases probably never end. A lot of them.
Correct.
And the second thing I'll say is, not everybody has them. Because when you think about what Ken just said, I don't think Ken has had that per se whole phase.
My shit ain't really took off. I had like small spurts. Where
Well, that's what I
I've
was gonna
never
say.
had a
Is
whole phase either.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? Like not everyone has had one.
I mean, I really don't.
Oops.
I'm not saying everybody, but for me, it's not really that necessary.
I'm in the middle.
I just think like, okay, with a whole phase, you
I'm
really
lying.
just collect a whole lot of bodies. It didn't really, and
I don't necessarily think
casuals-
that's what it is. What it
You
is.
think?
I don't think necessarily think.
yeah,
that's
I
what
was
a
gonna say whole
is.
phase is not specific to sex either.
No, it's not
I mean,
specific to.
then that's not a hoe to me.
is it just like
Well,
talking
no,
to a lot
no,
of
no,
people?
no. I will.
Because if
it's-
you're just dating people, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah. I'll say it is specific to sex.
Yeah.
But what I will say, I don't think it's specific to bodies.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? I don't
Yeah.
think it's specific to bodies. Now, a whole phase can be
I'm
you're
saying,
in a
like,
relationship, but every now and then you
Step
like
up.
let me see what's out there. Do I still got it? Or you know, like a whole phase, and it is you can't be like body to body to body to body. Like you know, you're not ready to settle down. You're not doing nothing, and it's just like I'm gonna fuck something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What did you laugh for?
Because when you said bodies, I was thinking about.
Him, her, him, bodies.
But either way, she said it wasn't enough. Stupid as fuck, bro.
That's crazy.
Like crazy. Like
See, if
motherfucking
I would've
Kobe
heard
was
that,
on
I'd been
one
like,
team. It was one of the greatest
You a
players
good
in the
nigga.
world.
Fuck the good nigga. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna teach you some things. It don't even matter.
Kobe.
It don't even matter. I'm gonna show you what I like.
But I mean, for me, I think to Dennis's point, I think it's because of the person, and to Mel's point as well, it's because of the person. Everyone doesn't, and I think that's what you were saying. Everyone doesn't need it, but for me, it was kind of like I had to get bored. Like you said, I had to get bored with that shit. Like I literally got bored with doing the same cycle, and I had a kind of person that I would go after because I knew the type of shit. Like
The one with the daddy problems.
a lot of the same kind of shit.
That's a whole nother
single
topic.
women
Yeah.
with kids, like you know what I mean. And it's not something
Teachers.
It's not something to brag. No, and this is a crazy one that people don't know about.
Niggas got this shit
Women-
down to a science.
Women who don't have a lot of time, women who are business minded, women who have a lot going on. They don't want a lot. They want you to come,
Get it done.
get it done.
Boom.
Next
Out.
time I hit you, be available.
Yeah.
Like, and people don't realize that stuff. Like, it's just not lower class women. It's high class women too. But I'm saying all of this to say that I had to go through those things to get bored with it, to finally say, like, after a night of drinking, I can go to fuck home, get in my bed, and go to sleep.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
See,
saying?
that's my problem. I do that a little too well. I do that a little too well. But I do understand, like, I didn't been in a relationship and after I've been like, some
Get your
new
feet
dick
wet.
wouldn't be
Yeah.
too bad.
Yeah.
Something
Yeah.
exciting, a little spice. But at the same time, half the time I didn't do that shit because the moment I got to talk to a man, I'm like, oh, never mind. Fuck it. I'm just going to bed.
I mean, is it the conversation that you got to have, or is it
I don't think
their responses?
I don't know. I think for me, it's not exciting. Like if I'm already saying like I want to try something new, some spice, I be wanting somebody like real confident, real bold, like with a lot of personality. But then afterward, I'm like, oh, never mind.
But how confident would you want them? Would you want them to be straight up, or you want them to shoot their subtle shots?
Right, and how would they even know that you're in that mood if you're not in the conversation?
Oh no, it's a scam. First of all, because because I definitely. It's like for me, no, really, because for me, I'm not saying I don't want no dick. I'm not, but at the same time, the moment you mention it too many times, I'm like, just call somebody else.
Get somebody else to do it.
Yeah, just call somebody else.
I never brought it up, bro.
So how do you prefer people shooting their shot at you?
Honestly, just say you want to take me somewhere. Or you want to do something. It don't even got to be no exquisite shit.
Does it have to be a certain place? Like, does it have to be in person? Or you rather them come? Or does it even matter? Like, can it be on social media? Does it even matter for you?
No, it could be on social media. Honestly, I don't go no damn where. So I told you break in this bitch. Break in my house, please.
Okay.
If you're the man for me, I'm waiting.
So one night you scrolling, you in your bed,
no, not literally.
right? Mm-hmm. Any one of y'all, you married, you in a relationship. I got whatever I got going on. You know what I mean? I be having shit going on. So you're in your bed one night and you're just scrolling all your social medias, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, it doesn't matter. And one particular person.
Them noties.
Them noties come. You know what I'm saying? Them notifications. They like back to back. He liking all your fire shit. You know it's fire because you posted it to Instagram.
Right.
Or you posted it to Facebook.
Right.
He liking all that shit. Mm-hmm. What do you take from that?
Not a fucking thing. Say it with your goddamn chest. What the fuck are we like? See, and that's why I didn't make an Instagram until 2022, this year. Because
wow, this is your first year on Instagram?
Yeah, I'm really cool on that shit. Like, I really feel... I'm a blessing. I'm low key. You get the whole thing. But
really
but I made it.
Damn, like you've never really been on there until this year.
No, because this shit is stupid to me. A lot of this shit is stupid to me.
It is.
And it makes perfect sense that she said that because my ex made me a Instagram when it first like started popping, when it was just nothing but pictures.
Yeah.
I didn't want that shit, but she made it.
And I think specifically Instagram, that is just one of the most weirdest, creepiest fucking apps I've ever seen in my life.
That shit is not real.
My
shit is real. Like what I be doing on there is real.
Yeah, we know we know it's real.
You know what I'm saying? But a lot of that shit don't be fucking real.
And I think people the celebrities, but it's wrong for regular ass people to be taking what people in a different tax bracket are doing any damn ways. That's dumb.
Campbell's and the
I think I seen
I was like, I see why people don't.
But that's how I figured out niggas can't reply to your story anyway. That's probably why niggas, when you like the picture back, that's probably why niggas don't say nothing to you because they can't.
Apply pressure, do more.
Damn.
That's tough.
Okay. Male versus female though. We're in the topic. What do you mean,
Bro,
Ken?
my biggest take is like, if a woman does X, Y, Z, a dude be like, well, women need to do it. Bro, stop, bro.
Yeah.
Like, pick your shit up, do better. Yeah. Like, fuck what they got going on. Make yourself.
But give me an example.
I hate.
Okay, for like example, you just said that, duh. But anyway, she just said,
I'll take it off.
I'll take it off. But she just said, she don't mind like going out to eat or him paying for it. It's like, okay, like if you decide to go Dutch, right? It's your first date. If y'all decide to go Dutch, there's nothing wrong with that, man and woman. I'm talking to both of y'all. If y'all, it's the first date, it's okay. It shouldn't be like you in competition with him on the first fucking night. For what? Y'all both feeling each other out. Just go out and have a good time, get a feel for each other. If everything is fine, then you go on to the second date, and he can be like, okay, I enjoyed you the first date. Second date, I'll take care of everything. You don't have to worry about it. Just be here at such time and vice versa.
Right. I hate to say this, but I really feel like this topic only be coming up with black people. Because white women, they don't got to worry about who's paying for a date. They can just show up. I'm sorry. It is what it is. I don't care.
I don't think so.
It is. It is only a specific culture that y'all have a problem taking a woman somewhere, or they need to do more. Women need to do more. You need to no.
For real.
I don't think it's even a culture per se. I just think that like we're in a time now. I think it's the times.
No, it's not. It's really not.
telling you,
I'm
bro.
only saying that because literally, have you ever been like, you can go on white TikTok, white Twitter, and those women literally will their
typed that
videos.
in?
Oh yeah.
No,
I see it all the time on TikTok.
I didn't just fell into it, but
Yeah, it'd
a
be
woman can
different.
come
It'd be
out
different.
of a luxury home, a luxury car, anything, and they say, "Oh, what do you do for a living?" My husband. What do you mean living? What do I do? Work?
Nah,
And
yeah,
let
I
it
get
be
that.
a specific woman dealing with a specific type of man.
But
all of a sudden, it's why do I have to pay for a date? Why do I always have to take you somewhere? Why do I got to do X, Y, Z? But men that have it won't complain.
But I think that there's roles.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like there's roles in men versus women. You know, like a man has his specific roles. You know, a man is the protector. You step to my woman, hey bro, like what's up?
The protectors
I'm
out here
supposed
getting
to do
their ass
so.
beat.
That's
They
not-
ain't
You know what I'm
protecting
saying?
too good.
So man,
They not.
It's like I can see why certain people think that, but I also feel like some people take it to the extreme too. Like, bro, if a girl wants to buy you, you know, take you on a date and buy you some dinner, cool.
Right.
I think the
Oh
topic.
no! The moment I like a man, I will swipe that. You would be surprised.
But the topic it stretches so far.
Yes.
Right. It's
You know what
very
I'm saying?
bad.
Like it's we're putting it in a box right
Yeah,
now. You know what
I
I'm
think
saying?
that the problem is that men these days love to argue with women,
That's it.
I'm telling you,
that's
listen to what I'm saying.
and it's crazy.
Let
Y'all
me
gay.
get there.
Not y'all gay.
Let me get there. What I'm saying is, it's the times, bro. I'm telling you, it's not the culture. It's the times.
Vagina.
Everything, like, people cannot be okay with something male puts out. They have to challenge it. People cannot be okay with something that I say, even if I don't want any feedback. Someone has to challenge it. Someone has to be, well, why, if you didn't do it this way, why not do it that way?
Opinion versus opinion.
Like that's the times that we're living in, and to Mel's point,
Oh, you lace your shoes over, I lace mine under.
Damn, I mean, shit, my shit look better if they laced under.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't even lace my shit out the box. I just put them bitches on. I just loosen them up.
Nobody
But
gives a fuck.
Nobody gives a damn. But to Mel's point, living. What do you mean? My husband. The topic can stretch so far because we didn't come from that. Most men, I'm telling you, like the percentage, first of all, there's more of them than us. Way more.
Right.
So we didn't come from that. So what I'm saying is, black men most times didn't see a black man taking care of everything.
Definitely.
You see what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Most times, these white men, these white women, they have pensions, they have savings for their kids when they turn 18. Hey, go to college. When you're done with college, we're gonna have an apartment for you.
Yeah.
We're gonna have
But
a home
see,
for you.
that's
They
exactly
have
why,
shit.
piggybacking off of what you said, I don't really be liking to talk to men that don't have no dad.
Well, and this
I'm
is
not
this
lying.
is exactly
Okay.
what I was about to say. Is our generation specifically, we grew up with no OGs, no
Yeah,
big
we didn't-
homies,
we
no
didn't,
no
like-
father figures. Like so,
And that's the
having-
more important conversation
so-
because
so
that's why we're having the conversation
for
of
us
male
to
versus
try
female.
to figure out how to be a man, but most of us are learning how to be a man from our mother.
Yeah,
bro, it's
but,
crazy.
But see, the thing that I feel like weird about that is, even if, okay, for me, I grew up with my grandparents for the most part. Two people. He worked, he made all the money, and
Right.
she was basically his live-in secretary.
Right.
Yes.
And that's
Good
how
point.
it was. And I never seen her not do what the hell he asked her to do. But whenever I'm like dating and it's a guy that maybe didn't have a father, the moment I even try to say anything in regards to, hey, like, you know, what you're doing really isn't, like, it's kind of fucked up.
Like, it's not conducive to what you're trying to do to go forward.
Right.
Yeah.
And then it's always, you're met with like, oh, well, you know, I've seen a lot of fucked up things, or I've been through a lot of fucked up things. Well, now you're becoming those fucked
Yeah.
up
So
Yeah,
and
that's
that's
always the case.
And the difficult part is, I'll give you my way, right? The way I grew up is with my mom, living with my grandparents, my uncle, my aunt, right? So it was a total of 12 of us in one house. But trying to learn how to be a man that my grandfather was, a man with a 6th grade education, busted his ass, the oldest of 13 kids, having to feed his family that way, right? And expecting me to try to mirror as much as that, like, it's a huge generation that is skipped. And I didn't learn from the generation that I should have learned from, to be able to say this is how you move and this is how you don't. The other part of that is we were born in the 80s, right? Right after we were born in the 80s, right after the crack epidemics, right? So we lost a lot of people.
Not right after, in the crack epidemic.
Well, let's say towards the latter end of it, right? So who we knew to be, or who should have been the big homies and the father figures and the OGs, were either locked up or dead.
Yep. Or selling the fucking crack.
And not only that, I feel like going into the whole male versus female thing, I think that's kind of why, like you said, the times women are exceeding men.
In a lot of, and that's why
they
I
don't need
say
us.
this conversation is so broad.
But we don't wait. No.
For a lot of things, I'm
we
gonna say
do
that.
need y'all. It's just the fact that. Okay, speaking on me, you have to damn near become overly independent and just get used to it, because you're not gonna meet. It's already way more women in the world than men. Right. You're not gonna meet a man that is actually you're not gonna meet too many of them that is actually going to be good to you.
Yeah.
And that's just what it is. They're there for one thing most of the time, and that's it. Whenever it goes into anything deeper than that, you really just got to handle your own.
Right. And like I was saying, it's just the conversation is so much broader than what we see on these social media platforms, because it's always damn, why do I need to open the door and she's already at the car? Yeah. Or why do I need to pay for the ticket?
And that's why now I'd be like, why do I have to go on a date with you and sleep with you? If you're already sleeping with everybody else, why can't I just come hang out with you
know
then?
What I mean? So it's the on-surface stuff that we argue about all the time, every day on social media, and we don't get into these topics. It's really what you've seen, what you've been through, what you've grown through, what you've grown up to, like all of these things. And we don't get into those conversations, and that's why we don't understand why we're having those conversations.
Right. I also... Well, go ahead. Go ahead. Well, what I was going to say is I also think that where we're fucking up in our generation is because we don't know what it's like a lot of the times to have a big homie. We don't know how to be the big homie either, right? Exactly. So for our younger cousins, brothers, whatever, right, trying to... because we kind of had to figure it out, right? We kind of had to go and figure all this stuff out to navigate through. And we sometimes look at it as, well, fuck, I figured it out. You got to go out there and you figure it out too. But they move so different now that sometimes you have to stop and be like, hey, let me holler at you, man. Or you have to slap them around. Hey, man, get your shit together.
And to that point, just today, like, I don't know if y'all seen the video, like I had to have a conversation with my son that most men don't know how to have.
Exactly.
Most men don't know how to have that conversation. And I didn't even know how to have that conversation. But I said to myself, this conversation has to be had.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't have that conversation with my dad. My dad wasn't around.
Yeah.
I got a girl pregnant when I was 18 years old. And I told my dad, you know what my dad said? You fucking that girl without condoms?
How was I supposed to know?
Fam, what do you mean? I just told you she's
what do
pregnant.
you mean?
I just told you she's pregnant. The first thing you asked me is am I fucking her without condoms? She's pregnant.
Yeah.
But that tells me you don't even know, because your father didn't probably had this conversation with you. So you don't know what to tell me. Yeah, you were there financially. Yeah, I was in the household with you once I became 14 years old, and you was like, okay, he's becoming a man. I need to get him. But what did you instill in me?
Right.
Everything he did instill in me, I saw my daddy do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it wasn't like conversations. He didn't sit me down. He didn't talk to me. You know, it wasn't none of those things. Yeah. So for me, I took from that, I need to do different.
Right.
I'm going to have conversations with my kids. I'm going to have personal times with my kids. I'm going to do certain things, even with my nieces and my nephews and my brothers. Like, I'm the oldest boy.
Yeah.
Like, I did it with them before I had kids.
Yeah. I do the same thing, right? I mean, there's no way my mom was going to talk to me about who I was dating when I was my daughter's ages, right? Yeah. And hey, who was that? Oh, I've been knowing that little boy since he was a baby. You know what I'm saying?
I'm scared to have kids. I'd rather, even if I do have kids, I'd much rather have a boy. And it's not even just in regards to telling them sexually, but I feel like even if the guy I had a kid with isn't around, I have a father, and he would be able to be a great role model. And I don't want a little girl because it's fucked up out here for women. Especially, I like black men. You're going to be black. So it's going to be bad for you.
And I think that's a false narrative as well, but we can talk about that on a different podcast.
It's not.
I think that there's just fucked up individuals that do fucked up things to these black women.
I mean, and that's true, but can you really just say, oh, there's only some if 90% of black women are having the same experience over and over and over and over again. At a certain point, y'all are kind of like morphing us into these horrible people, honestly, to where we don't like y'all half of the time. We don't want to listen to nothing y'all have to say because half of the shit y'all have to say don't even match up with the shit y'all do.
I don't disagree. I've seen it.
I think it's all based on like the individual, like growing up, because back to what Dennis was saying, like nobody really had, you know, an OG or a father figure, right? I grew up in a household with my mom and my grandma. I call them Marjorie and Marjorie Jr. because my mom is named after my grandma, right? It's just to be funny. But either way, they did a damn good job raising me.
Right.
But at the same time, I learned lessons from my daddy.
Right.
I learned my best friend's dad. Rest in peace. I learned lessons from my ex-girlfriend's dad. This is all people who have molded me. They've taught me how to take care of a household, how to go out and make some money. They taught me how to work. They taught me how to, you know, protect the household. Even my best friend's older brothers, because they was in the streets. Yeah. So I'm learning to pick up on street shit, quote unquote.
And that's
you know
not
what
to
I mean?
say every black dude and every black woman is having the same experience, because Pookarooks, he didn't have no dad, but he's probably the greatest person I've met when it comes to how he treats me.
Right.
So,
It come from his mama.
Yep.
Yeah,
right.
It definitely comes from his mom.
Well, really, his like aunt and his grandma.
Yeah,
His
whatever
mom.
women was in his life.
Right, but I do feel like it depends on what you want to do. Either you're going to become the fucked up things that you've seen, or you're going to want to do better. You're going to want to treat your woman better.
Yeah.
So what does it take to heal that?
I was just about to say, because we're all fucked up.
We're all fucked up, bro. It's in some way. What does it take to heal?
I think it takes for said individual to look. First, you got to look in the mirror. Like Michael Jackson, I'm staring at the man in the mirror and realize what's fucked up about you.
Right.
It didn't take for me to realize my situation with my old man, like what was going on, until like the first time I got a girl pregnant. And it was like, fuck. Now I'm looking like, you know, like what do? I don't have nobody to call on. I can't tell my mama because she feels whatever way she felt about, you know, me having a kid at that time. What hit home the most, it turned out to be a joke, but the episode of Fresh Prince of Why He Don't Want Me No More.
Exactly.
Right?
Why He Don't Want Me, man?
Yeah, that I think that hit home for a lot of people from our culture or our demographic, because it's true. Like, it was days or nights where I wanted to go to my old man's house to spend time with my brother and my sister, and he wasn't there. So it's like, well, fuck, what did I do? And it took for me to, you know, get that young lady pregnant to look myself in the mirror, look the situation, you know, put it under the microscope and say, well, damn, this is why XYZ happened. It wasn't just because it was me. It was because he was fighting his own demons, quote unquote. You know what I mean?
So much of our trauma comes from our childhood.
Yeah, and I've never had the conversation with my old man, and I'm sure it's like he wouldn't mind it, but at the same time, we're a lot alike. So it's like, if we do have the conversation, it's not gonna be much said, but it's gonna be a great understanding. So I don't want to, you know. I don't think if I'm ready or not, because I could, but at the same time, I don't think it's necessary, because I've come to terms with it myself, and every day I'm still growing. I have kids of my own. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we all are.
Yeah, so it's just a process. Like, first you have to realize like it's you. It's not this person on the side of you. It's not the person you lay down with. It's not your kid's fault. It starts in you.
Right. And I totally agree. I feel like anytime it comes down to healing, it starts with you first. And a lot of people's things that they carry into their adulthood comes from childhood trauma. You're conditioned. You've seen those things, and this is just naturally what you grow up to think, believe, feel, whatever. But you have to address things head on, and then take your time and really get to know yourself and what is it going to take to make you better.
And like I was saying, you know, everything comes from our childhood. Like, I'm still not healed from a lot of things, and I didn't have a bad childhood. And one thing I'll say is, our parents, I think they wholeheartedly forget about the things that they saw, they put us through.
I mean,
like
they
they saw us through. You
but
know
at
what
the
I'm saying?
same time, I want to say, whenever you have children, there's no manual to the shit.
It's not.
And
I get that.
Honestly,
Ain't no playbook.
Ain't no
parents
playbook.
now, the way they raise their kids is nothing like the way people were handling their children. For me, I was basically thrown off on my grandma,
Listen,
and they had no clue what they should have been doing.
For summers, I went to whom we called our Aunt Paula house, and for a long time, I didn't know that they were functioning crackheads. Like, we went to these people's house every day.
Yeah.
That's something like I was literally in the 6th grade in a car on the way to school with my mom, and she's nodding. This was the lean era. This is the 90s now. And she's nodding. I'm in the 6th grade. I'm 11, 12 years old. And I'm saying, hey, Mom, do you need me to drive? I've never even started a car.
Right.
These are the kind of traumas. Like, literally, I'm 13 years old living with my grandfather because my mama went to jail for falling asleep at a stoplight.
Oh, wow.
So I had to go stay with my grandfather. My grandfather is an Army veteran.
Ooh, he was strict.
He was strict. We've never been in a home like that. So we were very rebellious. I was the oldest boy, so I was very protective of my brothers. So I'm like, man, fuck you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not finna deal with this shit. Nigga, fuck you, hoe ass. Nigga, I'll beat you up. But literally, this man is 6'3",
Yeah.
an Army veteran.
Put
He
some
still
on your
works out
ass
every
real
day.
quick.
Will put something on my ass, but I'm so overprotective of my, you know what I'm saying? So he literally put me on the porch and said, you need to call your dad. Come get you. My mom's in prison. I see my father. But these are some of the childhood traumas that parents will say, oh, you didn't have a bad childhood because they remember taking us to McDonald's or something after school.
I also
you know what I mean?
think that there's things that happen that your parents don't know either,
Yeah.
right? I mean,
Well, they don't know how it affects
well, they don't-
you.
they don't
Or
know
they
because-
speak on it.
or
They
even
don't- yeah, go
Even
ahead.
if they don't know, they might know, but they also don't know the effect that it had
Yeah,
on you
they
as well.
they know they
I-
dropped you off at this lady house that did crack.
Yeah, I get all that, but I'm also saying that there's things that we as individuals hold on to, and we don't
Right.
tell our parents, right?
That's
Bro,
what yeah.
listen,
so
bro.
when we talk about like how to heal, right? I think like Ken said, step 1 is looking in the mirror, but then step 2 is also understanding what you as an individual need to heal. I don't have the answer to that. So when you
No
ask
one
me,
has the answer
when you
to that
ask
because
me,
you-
Dennis, hey, how do you heal, bro? I don't know. You know
Nobody
what I
knows.
know is that I keep going until I break,
Yeah.
and when I fucking break, it's bad.
It's
You
bad.
know, and for me personally, like,
Say that shit. Get it out.
it's like I'm gonna fight through whatever I gotta fight through,
course.
right? But I affect other people in doing
Along the
so.
way, yeah.
And when I affect those other people, I now not only have to help heal myself, but I am now responsible. The way I feel
For mending
is
it.
I need to heal that relationship and what the damages that were done to that person.
Before you even get to you.
Yes, exactly.
I'm saying?
Yeah, and I always put that first, you know. So for me to heal, you know, you three, you know, y'all are pretty conscious or you're aware of what I have going on and you know, some of the other things that have happened. I feel like this has been one of the worst years of my life. You know, I've gone through so much. I've had situations stemming from the previous year, stemming to my childhood, that I was not allowed to have the closure that I needed.
Because this came.
And no, not even. Like, it's just at first not willing to have that closure, you know, from myself. I wasn't ready for that. And then all of a sudden, boom, there's no closure I can have now, right?
Yeah.
So I got to live with that. I got to live with that in me.
Right.
You know, I can only
That's
talk
tough.
to people so much that, you know, and try to at least explain how I feel, but nobody will ever know how I feel.
Yeah.
And having to deal with that, still being a father, still being a husband, still being a boss, like, that shit has broken me down so much, man.
I think we all go through that kind of shit. Continue to talk about it, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, we all go through it, right? You know what I mean? Especially being the first person of everything in your family. Everybody looks at you
Yeah.
like you're the guy. Imagine being the one whom, no matter what's going on in your life, they can call. No matter what's going on in your life, they're able to pick up the phone and say, this guy will have the answer for whatever I need.
Yeah.
And not having the answer for what you need. You see what I'm saying? Like imagine being that person. And for me, I've always been that person. Since I was in school, bro. Since I was literally a teenager, I've been that person for a side of my family.
Yeah.
So when I go through at Tenaris and I work my fucking ass off, and I go through the ranks, and I finally become who the fuck I want to become, and then it's all taken from me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This bitch Dennis fucking crying got me all emotional. fuck you, man.
Yeah, no, that's what we're here for.
And it's taken from you. You know what I'm saying? Y'all was there.
Yeah.
And it was taken from me. Trying to find the balance again, that shit is tough, bro. And I found it because I didn't quit. Because I've always been that person. And when you've always been that person, you've got to be that person.
Yeah.
No matter fucking what. No matter what anybody else is going through, you've got to be that person. So when you've got to be that person, the shit that you endure, the shit that you take, bro, out of everybody who I can fucking call, I call this motherfucker. I've only known this dude since when?
3-4 years.
17.
2016. And I fucking cried to this motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like, why am I not calling my father to cry to him?
Yeah.
Why am I not calling a brother to cry to him? Why am I not, you know what I'm saying? So it's super weird for me that we have to go through these traumas because of who we've had to become because of the circumstances we came from.
Yeah.
Right.
And I say this all the time, man. Like, even looking at it at work, like, being number one ain't easy.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? When you're number one, whether you're the go-to, you're the boss, like whatever it is.
And when you say number one, it's number one in
exactly.
everything
Like,
across
that shit
the
is
board.
not easy, man. That shit is not easy. It's something every day. And to fight through it and continue to want to be number one is the hard part. And then, like, you know, you go through some very dark times, man. And like I told y'all, I've had a situation where drunk as hell, in my feelings, you know, especially during holiday time, I hate, you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't got in the car and said, fuck it. However I end up is how I end up. If I don't make it home, I don't make it home. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is. Maybe this is the way out. And, you know, now looking back on it, it's like, all right, you know, I got 2 daughters. I got a stepson. I got a wife I need to take care of. I got all these people around me that I need to be there for. So, again, being the number one is always overshadowed anything that I had wanted to do selfishly. You know what I'm saying? So, understanding with myself, bro, if you go out, if you take yourself out, it's selfish.
Yep.
You're leaving everybody else behind, and everybody else is fucked. Yeah. So, you know, this shit ain't easy, man. It's an answer to how do I heal, bro. I have no fucking clue because I still ain't healed, and I'm trying, man. I can't figure it out sometimes, you know. But I'm gonna keep rocking. I'm gonna keep trying to get through it.
But do y'all ever think that it's probably a thing that we shouldn't figure out?
I actually was gonna say that. I don't think the way life works, you never have the answers, but I do think it's good to be able to be vulnerable and to talk. That's actually something I'm working on myself, because whenever you, like you said, whenever you're used to being a resource for everybody, you really don't know how you don't know how to get help.
You don't.
And
it's tough when even someone extends that help. It's like,
right. I actually, it's funny you said you called him. I actually just called him this weekend because my bank froze my whole account, my credit card, everything, because they sent me some alert at 3 a.m. I was asleep. And my dad is normally who I call because he has the money. I don't have anybody else to call. I ain't got no hoes. So you know I can't call nobody. So I literally called Dennis, and for a minute I wasn't going to say shit. Yeah. But then I was just like, you know what? I'm going to call him just to see. And it took me to not suffer through it, because at the end of the day, it's no point in doing that. But you get so used to only depending on yourself, not really wanting to express to anybody that something's wrong. It could be something as little as, you know, just having a bad day, or something big financially, something devastating in your life. But it takes a lot. And a lot of that really comes from what you're used to, and a lot of ego and pride. Yeah. And really, you don't even have to do it half of the time. You don't. And it's sad that we come from a space where we believe that. Yeah. Right. Most people believe that when you become who we've became, they believe that. Because even when you look out, you know what I mean? Like, who can you look to in your family that say they're this kind of person? Or they're this kind of person? Right. You know what I mean? And if they are, you've groomed them to be that. Right. And you don't want to take credit for anybody in your family. You don't want to take credit for whatever somebody has gone through themselves and became who they became. But you know what kind of a stamp that you've put on them. Right. And you're constantly fighting, saying, how can I become the version of who people see me as? Yeah. Or who they want me to be. Speaking on that, I actually read a book. It's called The 4 Agreements. I was telling you about it. And it really, like, addresses, like, what your personal thing may be with you and family members and why you can't depend on them, your ego, your pride, just things that how to elevate you to get to the next level all around as a person, not depending on anybody else, but just opening yourself up. And I think that's a great book that everyone should check out because it just really addresses why you may think this, why you may feel this way. What is it emotionally or spiritually that's blocking you to, go through these things, these traumas?
I just want to expound on everything y'all said so far. Having to break your pride down and call somebody for the first time for some help, that is one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life. I'll never forget. It's when I first got fired from Tenaris. Or I'm sorry, I don't know if you can bleep that out because I don't know if they want to know.
Nah, definitely bleep it out.
Okay, so when we got fired from the place that we worked,
I think I said it too. Bleep it
you
out.
did.
I said it too.
Y'all know bleeps are extremely hard, by the way. I just
know,
want to let
I'm
y'all know
sorry.
that.
I'm sorry. I'm
But
sorry.
go ahead.
When we having a topic like this and we get
Right.
emotional,
we're in a moment.
sorry.
When I first got fired from my current job, I had an apartment by myself, and I had to pay the rent. My cousin actually gave me the entire amount for a month's worth of rent. I hate it. I think I asked him. I asked another one of my friends, my sister, and my cousin. Shout out Blocker. You know Blocker.
Yeah,
you
Blocker,
know Blocker.
my boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He paid my entire rent and told me, no worries. Don't rush. You know what I mean? I cried, bro, because that's a position I never wanted to be in. I never planned on being in. And I've always been by myself. And, as men, it's a pride that, I figure it out. I do it myself. I had interviews lined up and this and that, but it wasn't coming at the pace that I wanted to.
Right.
The checks wasn't coming in like I wanted them to.
Right.
So I understand your position of all right, let me pull this pride back for a minute and ask somebody for help.
And I can imagine as men, it's hard to do that.
It's very hard. It's very hard because
A man
we're
that
always
actually wants to.
right,
Right.
because we're looked at like you. I think it was you that said we're the providers, the caretakers. We have kids.
That was me.
That was you? Okay, my bad. So, not only that, last year, I quit the current job I have, just a different location. I'm pursuing what I want to be my career, Not because the current job is bad, but it's just that I want more for myself.
Right.
You know what I mean? I want more for my family. And once I get into this field, it'll be a lot better for everyone around me.
Right.
You know what I mean? Now I'm back, and it's crazy because everything that I use, like you said, I use Facebook as a journal.
Right.
Right? So it's like I'm documenting my life. Around this time last year is when I quit, and I started this program to get into, to better my life.
Right.
Everything's coming back, and I'm nowhere near where I wanted to be. Right. And it's tough. And
But
I'll
when
say
you make
this,
plans, God is going to laugh at you. You
you're
got to
right.
do things.
You're
on your own
absolutely
time.
right. You're absolutely right.
Don't try to go out there and do
I'm going
nothing
from
on your own.
trying to live with regret to trying to pick myself up,
Healing.
get back healing, trying to get back to where I want to be and get back to on the page that I know I'm capable of. You
And
know
you
what I mean?
just- and you
And it,
should
like I said,
never-
it's not like the company that I'm at is bad. It is
Right.
very good. It can be very lucrative for the right person. I can make a lot of money there. That's just not where I want to be for the rest of my life. You know what I mean?
And to be honest, who wants to punch a clock? Period. Who wants to punch a clock for
Nobody.
the rest?
Right.
You want
right.
to experience financial
I
freedom.
want. I want to be able to
happy.
make the kind of money I make with less hours because
Right.
I love my family. I love my kids. I want to
Right.
be at home. You know what I mean? Working 12 hours a day, it becomes long. Don't get me wrong. It happens sometimes, but
Right.
that's just what it is. And as a man, I'm willing to make that sacrifice.
Yeah.
So I understand everybody's position and what they're going through. But to live with regret, man, I dealt with that for the first time this year because I took a hit this year. I did. My old lady.
It's been a tough year. It's been a tough year for a lot
everybody.
of people. It's a tough year
Everybody.
for a lot of people.
I mean, but that's life. Life is always gonna. Even I was literally telling him
Life
this
be
weekend.
lifing.
My dad was just telling me how
To the
this is
full
the
extent.
most money he's ever made in his life. But even with him looking like, oh, this is a lot of money, he was consistently going through things. So
I
it's
literally made
life.
a post about this not long. I said, I've never made this much money in my life and been this broke. I made a post that said that.
Before we wrap all this up, check on your people, man.
Right.
There's
Even the people that's saying they're fine.
Yeah, because we ain't.
They're not.
We ain't, man.
Nah.
You know,
And
we
when you
sit
go to
here-
check on them, They gonna say they cool.
No.
They're not.
Yeah, and
Push
if
the
you
issue a
know
little
if
bit.
you know your people, you know if something is wrong with them. You know what I'm saying? Just check on your people, man. Especially around these times.
Matter of fact, I'm
You
gonna
know,
go hug my
we
boy
be-
right now.
We be sitting here, acting all cool, calm, collective during the holidays.
Should be killing
Around
us.
everybody, we try to be the center of attention, making everybody laugh. But when we go home, man,
shit tough.
It's lonely
that
there.
Shit hits you, man. not even lonely. You know what I'm saying? I go home to
guess that's
beautiful
why
white
he out in the
kids.
Just
streets
because
all
you're
the
It's
time.
just
because
like-
you're in the presence of people doesn't mean you're alone.
You're
It's
absolutely
just
right.
You
Yeah.
and us as stubborn people sometimes, man, we got to be willing to talk about what we're going through. We got to be willing
Right.
to express how we feel, and and anticipate that people are gonna look at you like, man, shut the fuck up. Ain't
Yep.
nothing wrong with you. Like
Yep.
it's gonna happen,
And-
you know.
and
But
also-
don't be shut down. Don't shut down based off of that. you know?
Right. And also, if somebody comes to you willing to express themselves or open up, like he said, don't just tell them to shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
And also, don't always offer what you think is your fix to the solution, man. Just
Some
listen.
people just
Sometimes
want support.
They just want to support. They just want your support, or they just want to vent. Just be understanding if you can of the situation.
And the other side to that is too,
Because you can be
piggybacking-
really insensitive with whatever you have to
Yeah.
offer.
I ain't always got the best answers and the best advice, but I got 2 ears and I can listen.
For
you
sure.
know?
And the other side to that, picking back off of what you said, bro, people bring you burdens when you're full of burdens.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, try to acknowledge it a little bit. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, I don't know if you can see people, but I can see people. Like, I know when, you know what I'm
When
saying?
something's wrong.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I know when I don't need to put more on you with my bullshit
Yeah.
because you're going through your own bullshit. I can see that.
Right.
So, you know what I'm saying?
Just had this conversation with my mom. man.
Like, bro, I can't, I know when someone is full of shit that they need to release.
Right.
I'm not going to add to that.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So be mindful of that as well. But this is episode 4. Just Us Pod. No T. Just Us Pod. Thank you. Signing out.
I
Put
shaved
it
this
all
beard.
together.
But at the same time, it's like the shoes don't
George
like
Lopez.
like bitches probably even looking down on Jordan.
Motherfucking,
Get a little.
I look like fucking Bruno Mars with my chin, bro.
Bro, this nigga said George Lopez.
George Lopez is wicked.
Don't you ever-
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's just immediately doo doop doop doop.
George
wicked.
Lopez is super fucking.
That's fucked up, bro. That's
I'm
fucked
sorry.
That came from the good age.
I'm sorry. It just immediately came out.
Okay.
One beat of you at kids and if it's time
Come on,
to team
man.
up, shit, let's begin.
Come on,
You
man.
gotta bow out gracefully after that one.
Man.
Get her back next week, bro.